Hey guys, Faz once again, and I thought I'd do a quick vlog on the E3 stuff that's been happening this past week. For those who don't know what E3 is, E3 is this big, massive event that happens in Los Angeles. I think it's Los Angeles, and all these companies come together, developers, publishers, and console makers come together and talk about video games. Simple stuff, right? And what they do is they announce new games that might be coming out, whether it's exclusives, third parties, indie, small, big, VR, doesn't matter. They just any of these games can be announced at E3. At the end of these events, we normally get asked the question of who wins E3. And in the end, the ultimate answer is always going to be we as gamers win E3 because we know that these games are going to be developed for us, for us to buy, for us to experience. And for consumers, that's how it is. For developers, they're going to benefit because they know people are excited for it. It's what people want. So lo and behold, when I have to ask this question of what if we actually lose E3? E3 is normally defined by when the game comes out. We don't exactly win E3 unless it's something we really wanted in the first place, and we just outright don't care about anything else. An example for this year is Crash Bandicoot. An example for last year was Final Fantasy VII Remake and Shenmue 3. And neither of those games are exclusive to PlayStation. PlayStation won because it was just on their conference floor. And people were excited for that. That gained excitement. That is how essentially companies define who wins E3. Or that's how we as consumers define who wins E3 because it got us excited. It got us happy to be an owner on one side or the other. So games that were supposed to have come out essentially 10, maybe 5 years ago, and they have still not been released yet. I'm looking at Final Fantasy 15, I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm looking at The Last Guardian. These three games were supposed to have come out at the start of the PlayStation 3 cycle. And that's almost 10 years ago. That's how old these games were in development. That's when they were announced. That's not even including what development time there was before they announced it the first time. And it's a bit of a trend because it's happening with these higher profile games. With smaller ones, because of smaller studios, I can understand that. But they're at least a lot more concise and consistent with making their games on time or making their games and having some sort of development vlog where they'd say, we've added these things in. These are the reasons you should be excited. Here's a demo. Here's a new demo. It's not good enough at times, and I really don't feel it would be. It's not. I feel like it might end up being more of a trend. So I want this to essentially stop essentially now. People who pre-order these games are going to be wanting this game essentially fairly soon. When they get announced at E3, I expect it to come out essentially in the next 18 months or have some sort of update in the next 18 months. And if there's a delay, I expect to know about it. A good example of someone doing it right is Nintendo, where they announced Legend of Zelda last E3 and they said they should be coming out sometime before Star Fox. When their release date kind of came around, they've pretty much said it straight off, saying, okay, this might not be coming out at the time we expected it to, but we will do a whole E3 about it. But that means it gave us something to look forward to, something to talk about, and something to be excited for. And you know what? They threw it out the park. They became the most talked about thing on social media when it got announced, and it had 2 days less than the others did. So all I can get at is I really want this trend to essentially stop straight off right now. If there's going to be a game that's announced during an E3, then I expect there to be subsequent updates over the years. I want there to be, it's like saying you don't have an excuse anymore. You have to talk about the game at some point. At E3, if there's an announcement, I expect it to be an update in the next year. So that means first year is trailer, second year there has to be a playable demo. If you do it at other events, that's completely fine. But I still expect it to be a playable demo at the next E3. And then the final year or during that demo conference, I expect there to be a release date. Simple as that. If a game is going to get delayed, I expect it to be something playable in those years that game is delayed, because that's not fair on the press, and that's not fair on the consumers, and not fair on you, because you're just saying, we've got this game, it's coming out, no one's really played it, be excited. So that's pretty much it, really. I don't want to be too negative about the situation because there was loads of good games this year. I mean, I'm still excited for Tekken 7. I really want that game to come out. But what do you guys think? Am I wrong for saying what I am? If I am, go for it. But in the meantime, if you want me to do more videos like this where I talk more about video game stuff, since I do like more video game stuff more often than not, please let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. My name is Fazdi, and I'm the one and only.